guys or at the camera?
Whatever
or
makes you feel comfortable.
Okay, all right.
We
Cool.
do it a little bit different. Yes.
All right. I'm looking at that.
The red dot right there.
All right.
All right, we are live right here at the MMA Evolution Expo in San Diego, California. I'm Tristan DuCross. Along my side, as always, my brother Sean DuCross. What's up, people? We are here with Mark Munoz, UFC fighter. Mark, what do you think about this kind of event being held out in San Diego?
Oh man, San Diego is amazing. It's a great place. I mean, especially for MMA. There's a lot of MMA gyms out here. I used to train out here. With the compound, with Alliance Training Center, and I love all those guys that are out there. So San Diego has great roots as far as MMA, and yeah, San Diego is a great place. Who does not want to be in San Diego?
Right,
You know?
and you're seeing it now with the growth of MMA in
Yep.
this area, and this is just the tip of the iceberg coming
Yep.
down here to San Diego.
That's right.
It's only a matter of time before you see a lot more MMA expos coming down to this area.
Yep.
And going, hey, we're here too.
That's right. And MMA is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. I mean, we're branching out to different cultures, different subcultures. I mean, it's taking storm, MMA. So San Diego would be a great hub for MMA.
What's a new style that's coming out that you think that a lot of the MMA world needs to be on the lookout for?
I'm gonna be biased, man. I'm a wrestler. And you look at all the world champs right now.
Yeah.
The majority of them are wrestlers.
Yeah, we're just talking about that when we were walking around the expo, and we were seeing kids. We saw a little guy probably about this big that was training.
Yep.
And
That's
it's
right.
like, when we were in high school, it's just like, yeah, you're wrestling type of thing, but it wasn't something that everybody was doing at the time.
That's right. Given the growth and the popularity of MMA, wrestling has caught on. Although right now in the sport of wrestling, this is some current events, news. Programs have been dropped. Unfortunately, in California, programs have been dropped, and Division I programs, and it's not good. But hopefully with the rise of MMA, reinstatement of all the Division I programs, and even like Division II, Division III, and some of the JUCO programs would hopefully revitalize and catch on and be kind of put back in to college sports. So, right now, MMA is so hot, and wrestling is what it's wrestling. Having wrestlers in MMA helps the sport. So.
With wrestling, with you having the pedigree in wrestling, you being Filipino and not having a lot of Filipino fighters out there right now.
That's right.
What are you doing to kind of bring the wrestling culture, let alone MMA culture, making it bigger in the Filipino community?
Yeah. So I actually visited the Philippines quite, I would say, occasionally and frequently. So I have good relationships back there and networking. So when I go back there, it's unbelievable. I mean, the people just love MMA out there, and I'm actually the guy they're looking to. So.
So is it safe to say you're kind of like the Manny Pacquiao of MMA in the Filipino land?
Yeah, man. I mean, I look up to Manny. I remember watching Manny before I got into mixed martial arts, when he was fighting Eric Morales. Like, I was just like, man, he's the man. Now it's like, shoot, now I got some big shoes to fill, but I love it, man. It's my culture. I grew up very, very Filipino. I have wrestling roots, and I want to be able to go back to the Philippines and help them in wrestling, help them to be able to develop their style of wrestling and implement it in martial arts, and that's my goal. That's what I want to do, and I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna do seminars and have like coaching seminars as well to be able to take wrestling to the Philippines.
So, speak about Manny Pacquiao. Do you think we'll ever see in our lifetime Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather? That question's going to come up at some point.
Yeah.
Or better yet, why not have Mark Munoz versus Manny Pacquiao and see who actually runs the Philippines?
Nah, man, I look up to Manny, man. I couldn't do that, but I would spar him playing around, I bet you he'd be like, no, just boxing only.
Right.
I'm like, okay, we'll do one round boxing only, and Don't do one round MMA.
Fair enough.
But we'll do MMA first.
All right.
Nah. But Manny, I mean, he's such a humble guy. I mean, he's done big things for the Philippines. He's done amazing things for the country and for boxing. And he actually now invested in ONE FC.
Really?
So he is actually one of the, I guess, the top investor in ONE FC. So ONE FC is going places.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
There it is.
But I can't promote ONE FC, man. I'm a UFC fighter, man. So UFC is where it's at.
What's next for you in the UFC, considering you just signed a new 4-fight contract?
Yeah. So I've been in the UFC nearly 5 years now, and I had an intervention with all my coaches and my training partners. I've been doing the same thing for 5 years, almost 5 years, and I've gotten high in the ranks, and this past year, I'm 36 now. This past year, my body's been breaking down. I broke my hand. I had a bunch of bone spurs in my elbow. I broke my foot, and in my last fight, I had a grade 3 tear in my MCL and a strained ACL. So it's just like my body's breaking down, but I'm not doing anything to be able to have rest and recovery because I run a gym. I train for MMA. I'm one of the top fighters in the UFC. I do an anti-bullying campaign. I give to the community. I coach and I teach at my gym. I have a wife and 4 kids and all their events. And on top of that, I do motivational speaking at different companies and different businesses. And I do some commentating on, MMA Inside MMA, and also UFC Tonight. So with all those things that's going on, it's hard for me to balance my life. And so, I know I got to cut things out, and my coaches just ran an intervention on me. They said, Mark, if you're going to do MMA, you need to do MMA. You need to be able to get rest and recovery. You need to go back home because you're training so hard. You need to be able to rest, and your body's telling you that you need to rest because, in those last 4 fights.
You're not getting any younger.
I'm not getting any younger, man, but I know in my heart, and you heard it here, I know in my heart that I can beat those 3 guys that I lost to, which is Musasi, Lyoto Machida, and the reigning world champion right now, Chris Weidman. I know in my heart I can beat those guys, but I have to put my best foot forward, and I can't do it if I'm doing all those things and trying to train at the same time and train hard at the same time. It's hard. It's hard to do that.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, you hear it first right here. Mark Munoz on the DuCross Brothers says he could take out Chris Weidman and become the new champ. Just saying, right here on the DuCross Brothers. Sean the Twisted DuCross with Mark Munoz.